You know, people are healing still, but in order, guys, some of them are just dancing. And he basically just told her dead ass to her face that I've made a decision and I'm informing you. I'm not asking for your permission. I'm telling you that this is what's going to happen. I said what I said. Full stop. Then doddering, hey, then doddering, especially this light skinned soprano character. Ndoda. Ndodering. Mambata are over my dead body. I never. Upepile bana for this man and this family. She has been taking care of this man. She's been taking care of his whole extended family and not even being made an official wife. And you're telling her basically, babes, samokopa discount when you go to your family. Like, this woman on woman just Araratane sometimes as Basadi, and I don't understand. Fat and said they're trying to make it seem like the fat and said these things of our generation. Hi guys. Lebo mama rona lebo kuku were fat and sitting, and I mean the circumstances might have been different. But what is becoming clear, not just from this show, but other shows that I also do watch, is that at the end of the day, guys, Badimu are not on board with seeing Wanabona Ajiwa Mala. And like, you will pay the debt. You will pay the debt one way or another. Whether dark or blue, you're going to pay. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Rachadi's View. You almost forgot the name. Rachadi's View, where I give you my view on reality, and we are looking at Maskandi Kings, season 2, episode 2. Oh, guys, if there's this lipstick thing on my teeth, let that was strong because I got some feedback from a close friend that like we should try some color and pop on our face, and I'm learning how to do these things at my big age. So some things can't be edited, go editing. So let that was strong if there's anything happening. I don't think there is, but like the show goes on. So welcome back to episode 2. So I think this review is going to be a lot shorter than the previous one because that was, I was setting the scene. So this one wasn't super fast paced and interesting, but like, you know, people are healing still, but in order, guys, some of them are just dancing. But we'll get into it. Let's get into it. Get your drink, get comfortable. Put your earphones in if you're doing your errands, if you're cooking, if you're cleaning, you're doing your chores. Like, let's get into it. So, we open up and we are with Kulegani, MC. And this is the aftermath of the family meeting with the Kaba family, where he was basically getting the story about what had happened to his mother, which was a lot of abuse and a lot of violence. So Kulegani sits with his brother. And he's just thanking his older brother for, putting this meeting together. He thanks the brother for also just always being there for him. Whenever he needs him, he can rely on his brother. His brother has been consistent. His brother has been supportive. Once again, just so beautiful to just see, love between the brothers, love between these black men, guys. I don't know. It's doing something for my heart. It really is just doing something for my heart to see this. And his older brother lets him know that, I'm always here for you. And, let's make it our mission to stick together as family. We see a lot of families out here. And guys, yeah. Butu, Ubuntu, Ubuntu, that we always love to talk about as South Africans and as Bato is something that, when you look around and you see what's happening in families, and how people abasakatana, kiditele, people are hating on each other. People who share the same blood are wishing for each other's demise. It is really sad, the breakdown that is taking place in our families. And I think it's globally, it's not just locally here in South Africa. But just to see it, for me as black people and based on where we've come from, just a generation or two back, guys, like we were like this, solid in our societies and in unity. And now it's just, it's just broken. And so, it's really encouraging to see the two brothers speaking about coming together and just holding on to each other and not letting any third parties and third forces come between the two of them because, yeah, it's sad what's happening to our families out here. It's really, really sad. And I really do wish them the best of luck. And I hope that they can continue to be that support for each other and to just carry each other and hold each other up through life. So next we go to Abafana Bangumeni, and it's the darker skinned alto brother. I think only like Malevins on his faces, that guy. I'm still waiting. Guys, if anybody knows what these two brothers' individual names are, please let me know because why, especially season two, Nkaraba ikemiseditse, like to be a package deal because they wear the same clothes. They are twinning hard in all the outfits in their diaries, in their outfits in the streets, like they are dressed exactly the same. I don't know if they're actually twins. Maybe they might be twins because I'm busy saying older brother, younger brother. But I don't know. If they are twins, like the one has just been going through life because he looks super rough in the face and old. But maybe I could say, I don't know what's happening there. But anyway, somebody please help to clarify me if I'm on the wrong track and they are twins and that's why they dress the same. But I don't know what their individual names are. Maybe I must just Google for the next episode. But I don't think that would also make sense because the show doesn't actually classify them individually by name. They just Abafana. So, okay. Bafana 1, Alto, darker complexion brother, 11. So he goes to his mother's family home, Kombata, and he's going to speak to his uncles because hey, it's been rough. Life, washing. Nothing in his life is going well. He feels like there's no luck in his career. He's been trying with the ladies in his love life. Ileona, it's just and there's women that he's been meeting and wanting to marry, and every time he wants to marry somebody, they leave. And from his own estimation, he says that, it's not that he's mistreating these women, but something just happens that as he's about to marry them, it just doesn't go well. So he went in season one, Ramobodeko season one, he went to go and consult and find out what was going on. So yeah, go some kulu somewhere there by its X-ray by floor to find out what was happening spiritually and ancestrally. And he was informed that yes, there is a problem in his life, and the problem is that his lozis are fighting over him. And so the lozis from his father's side, so his father's Mseleku and his mother's Kiwakumbata. So essentially, this guy says that they were born Komseleku and raised Habomseleku their whole life. And their last name is Mseleku as well. So as long as he's known, they are from the Mseleku family. But what the what came out when they were consulting was that his father actually never officially married his mother, sorry. And when we are talking about officially, guys, as Africans, re bua ka magadi, re bua about an animal and nyoko in the mix. So those things never happened. And essentially, the Mbata ancestors are on some, you are our child because ancestrally, nobody came. Abanta homu, abanta pudi, nothing was done. There was no mahadi. So ancestrally, when are you still our child? And that being said, all of the blessings and the gifts that you're given in your life come from us as your maternal ancestors. So when they're seeing you out here in the physical world, busy calling yourself Mwanawa Mselegu, you're out here, performing and using that money to basically go build your father a house, Egcekeni yakamseleku, and they're just like, but those are our things, and you are, praising them and using them for this other family that actually still owes us a debt. So, because we are seeing you doing these things, Pitiri, we must just close the tap of all the blessings, because clearly you don't know who's giving you these things and auna tanki. That's just, a modern day summary of what the X-ray brought out. So he's at his uncle's, basically relaying this message and looking for guidance on how to fix this now, because his father has passed away, and he can't go to his dad and ask his dad to do the right things. And he said after he did that X-ray by floor and then started speaking to other family members, it was confirmed indeed that his father had actually never loboled the mother, which is, I'm really glad that as part of the collective spiritual awakening that I think we are all going through, most people, if you're awake, you know what time it is. Things are happening out here. It's great that I think as part of that, we as Black Africans are also being called to go back to our traditions. And part of it is fixing the things that were not done correctly, either by, those who came before us, our mothers, our fathers, our grandfathers, Libo Koko Kulu, and whoever else in the past. Yes, it is unfortunate that, the people who are affected by it are the children, the grandchildren who had nothing to do with the decisions that were made. But it is great to see sort of this homecoming back into wholeness, and this whole homecoming back into practicing our cultures and upholding them. So he's just in a bit of a situation because the father's no longer there to do the right thing. So his uncles told him that essentially your mother's going to have to come back to the Mbata homestead, and somebody, representatives from the Mselegu family, are going to have to come and basically marry her in the correct way and perform all of the rites and the rituals that his father was supposed to have done. And only once they've done that, then his mother can be released and go back to the Mselegu household, which is great. But also for me, is like this mother is still like, guys, these Abafana Bagangumeni, I don't know. These are men, like old men, definitely at least in like their 30s. And it's just like this woman, their mother has been sitting there for 30 plus years. Aso nyalwe ke motho. This is what Badimu, you know what? Let's ask for the things to be done correctly, because Fat and said they're trying to make it seem like the Fat and said these things of our generation. Hi guys. Lebo mama rona lebo koko were fat and sitting, and I mean the circumstances might have been different. But what is becoming clear, not just from this show, but other shows that I also do watch, is that at the end of the day, guys, Badimu are not on board with seeing Wanabona Ajiwa Mala. And like, you will pay the debt. You will pay the debt one way or another. Whether dark or blue, you're going to pay. So at least his uncles are supporting him, and they're like, no, we'll be with you in China. This must be done. I guess we're going to see in the rest of the season how they're going to do it. Then we go to Bahube, and Bahube goes to his uncle's place. And there it's his two uncles and the aunt, and informs them of his intention to want to go and finish off Lobola for his wife, which he should have done years ago, but now he's getting to it. Uncle is very happy and is like, it's important that you do this in our family. Right now, we don't have any bachelors. So, it's your responsibility also, because you are the only child, your father's only child. So, his father, Bahube's father, has passed. And Bahube is the only child. So he's like, you have to actually stand in for your father and uvuse umuzi. Guys, what is that? I really do need to. Kgotsosa lelapa. Yeah, he must do that. So uncle is very supportive, and basically tells him that the procedure is that they have to get the same Mkongis who went the first time to the in-laws loosely because you're not actually officially married awafedza, but yeah, they need to go get those same mkongis to go back to the in-laws and finish off. So what would usually happen, the uncle says, is that they would send a representative, but because the mother of his children lives with them there, Etegeni, and has been there for many, 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 many years, best they just ask her to go. So they call her in. She comes in, umama, looking very respectful. Once again, has to roll out the kansi. And this is the thing, right? I'm not trying to be controversial. I'm not trying to start something. But I do have a question culturally because mother of the children sat down on the kansi on the mat, but the uncle's wife was sitting on the sofas. So, and I know it's different in different cultures and traditions. Maybe somebody can clear up who gets to sit on like the chairs and who must sit on the mat. Is if she's like an official Makoti, will she still have to sit on the mat? But I don't know because Linda, when I go back, home, you see like Gogo's still sitting on the mats. So like when do we transition from mat to the chair? And does that ever happen? Like even if I'm like 80 years old with like rough hips, am I still sitting on the mat? I don't know. Anyway, she comes in, they tell her, okay, babes, please can you go back to your family and tell them that it is our intention to now come relo feleletsa magadi. Then Bahube in his diary entry, is like, it's not traditional for us to ask her, but basically we're using her as the Trojan horse to go to her side of the family and basically plead balongenga on our behalf because actually we should have done this many, many years ago. And to avoid either the fines and the conflict that they're going to be faced with if they go there themselves, she can go and sort of ask and beg and plead with her mother on their behalf. Girl is like, I'll go, but her face is like, I mean, I'm not used to this, but what am I supposed to do? Because vele kgale ke dutse le wena re kipita mo for years on end. So am I going to say no now that I'm 5 to, being officially married? So she accepts and she says, cool, she'll go and talk to them, but she's not there to specify when and how everything is going to happen. She's just going to relay the message the way that they gave it to her. Holla. Then the auntie who's sitting there, so Bahube's auntie, is like, no, can you also just find a way to get the paper with the requirements of the things that they had asked for? Because our paper got lost, there were storms, things were happening in KZN. And then Auntie says, you know, you also see how we live here, we're struggling. So it would be in your best interest that your side of the family doesn't ask for a lot of things because then we're just going to continue to struggle. Babes, what? What? You know, Auntie, if that was you, when I mean, is that what you would be saying if you were in her shoes? Because at the end of the day, this woman can't go and dictate to her family and her elders, this is what the people want, and therefore please make concessions because they're struggling. Like, this woman has, I don't know how many children she has with Bahube, but upepile bana for this man and this family. She has been taking care of this man. She's been taking care of his whole extended family and not even being made an official wife. And you're telling her basically, babes, samokopa discount when you go to your family. Like, this woman on woman just arratan sometimes as basadi, and I don't understand. Because this man has gotten the benefits of a wife, but he never made her a wife. So whatever his family asks for, or her family asks for, it's what they require, guys. Like, and this is the thing. I'm not here to support the commodification because yes, our culture and traditions, Salobola, have been taken over, really, by the pungent, disgusting smell of capitalism. And that's really not what Mahadi was about. But at the end of the day, you as umkwenyana wanting to marry a woman have to be able to prove to that woman's family that I'm going to take care of her. So you can't be coming in and saying, guys, can I just bring in like one chicken and can you just give me this woman who's going to come and care for me and my family and my extended family and big kids and take care of those kids and all I'm gonna give you is a chicken? No. No. So kopa le ba tlogeleng, whatever they ask for is what they ask for. And in fact, la kolota, because this woman has been working for years. But I don't think they're going to be extravagant. I'm not saying they must come now with ridiculous demands. But babes, Samokupa discount, that was not the message to ask her to go and relate to her family members, auntie. Just saying. Next, Kulegani Shongwe. He's back at home. He meets with his two brothers and he basically relays to them that, now I did the ceremony, go tlhatswa motse, so based on the relationship that I had with my dad, that was really bad. And he's basically checking in with the brothers because both of them weren't able to come for that ceremony. Then he asks his one brother, Sakile, that, what happened? Because I heard that you and dad had a drama and ne ba tshwarane ka di-washing and there was a big altercation. Then Sakile is like, no, there was a misunderstanding that was happening between his mom and his dad. And he basically got in the middle of it to try and de escalate the situation. But what ended up happening is that Sakile and his dad now got into a physical fight. So Kulegani tells us that, Sakile and his dad have history and that they haven't gotten along for very many years. A lot of it has to do with his father's anger issues and his father's temperament and his father's treatment of not just Kulegani, which was bad and abusive, but of the brother as well. So I think the brother's probably harboring still some anger and some resentment toward his father. So, hi, ke mole, Sakile, the father, ne ba tshwarana ka di-washing. Things were bad. Sakile's like, we tried to sort of come back from that, but things are still not really 100%. And the father told Usakile that, like, you have to hlaula because okasin tshwara washing in my own house. That's not how it goes. So Kulegani was like, listen, my brother, I know that you're still very angry, and rightly so, and you've got your own issues with, our father. But at the end of the day, let's just do what he's asking us to do or asking you to do, because once you've done that, then we can now go back to our father and be like, but also you, when are you going to start taking accountability for the wrongs that you've done? And when are you going to hlaula for the way that you've been mistreating us? So Kulegani was basically like, let's clean up our side of the street, do everything that we're supposed to do, and then we can take it back to our dad. Cool. Last scene, we go back to Abafana Baganumeni. It's now light-skinned brother with the soprano. He's back home, Emakaya, gone to visit Mambata. So Mambata is his first wife, which is his brother's widow. So he took on his brother's widow, and his brother's widow, Mambata, became his first wife. He's talking about how deep the love is for Mambata. They have such an understanding and a deep connection. It goes beyond understanding and looks like a very sweet thing. Wonderful for them both. I'm just a question mark, guys, because I tried to put myself in her shoes and I just don't know. I don't know, like, how do you wrap your head around that your husband dies, and because I mean I don't know what the premise of Ukungenwa is, but the way that I understand it from my own culture is that at the end of the day, so you are still makoti whether your husband is alive or not. So we are going to find another person for you to marry, so that we can continue, enjoying the returns of the investment. But I don't know, just like how emotionally and mentally, some of these women are having to make that change and that adjustment. Or I'm grieving this one person, and then here's this other person that I always used to see, ha ne re na le mosebetsi, and now like that person is my person now, and I must treat him like a husband and not a brother anymore. Like, it's very complex, guys. If Zulu women could talk proper, and tell us, and not just Zulu women, all other women, I think we've been in this situation. I find it very interesting, um, to put myself in the shoes and how do you adjust? Anyway, they go, they sit, they're enjoying the fresh air, and then Uprava tells her that, like, his cousin's wife, so his cousin on his mother's side, the cousin passed away. Cousin's wife is sitting there by herself, and he feels that he needs to take it upon himself to marry her and take her on as another wife. That same Mambata that he was just telling us now, Khorsofa Silatlane, it's so sweet. She was like, what? Say it again. What? Then he tells her he's speaking Zulu, not English. She heard him. Hey, Mambata are over my dead body. I never. And he told her straight up that, like, babes, you were just fine with this situation when I took you on. Now you trying to tell me I never with another person. And she was like, no, when he married me, he never mentioned that he's basically going to be, the savior of all the widows. And she was like, this is also on your mother's side of the family. Like, this is not making sense. You're basically just, o re kena kaofela. Mother, father side, every side, middle front, center back, like everybody. And he basically just told her dead ass to her face that I've made a decision and I'm informing you. I'm not asking for your permission. I'm telling you that this is what's going to happen. I said what I said. Full stop. Mambata are next. Never. She stood up quickly. She rolled up her tadzi because he was like, sit here by yourself and think about it. Aye, she stood up, rolled that mat, followed him, telling him that it's not going to happen over her dead body. And I guess we're going to see how this plays out, because clearly, how are you going to stop this man? Because I don't think there's anybody in his family who's going to stop him from doing what he's doing. But once again, we come back to, marriage, guys. Lenyalo. Asipa ben flazy. O ka se ije ka fork and knife. I know. I know. I know. I know. Pegazel, nyamazel. It's a lot. So that's the end of the review of episode 2. It was enjoyable. It was slightly meaty. These what is it? Abafana bagangumin. They're endodering, hey? They're endodering, especially this light-skinned soprano character. Ndoda. Ndoda ring. But it's episode 2. We're still early, so let's give it a chance. Let's see how it goes. And I hope you enjoyed it and you continue to spread love, not hate. Take care. Ciao.